Hey everybody, this is the notes for section 3.1, the rectangular coordinate system. So in this section, we're going to talk about graphing coordinates and, and what happens in the coordinate plane. A lot of this will be familiar. It's just maybe been a minute since you did it. So we're going to start with interpreting a graph. First, take a second and look at this data and just think about what it means. So we have months, we have number of clients, and the months are numbered. And then we can look at what this would look like on a graph. This is like if you imagined the 4-quadrant graph, a coordinate grid. This is like one corner of it, positive, positive, right? So this is the number of clients submitted to a program over a period of months. And then you can sort of see that it's basically trending upwards. So there are some questions here. I'm going to show them here on the screen, but I'm going to take you back to the graph to answer them. So here are the questions. For which month was the number of clients the greatest? Well, we would just find the highest point. And in this case, it's going to be this one. So that corresponds to December. How many clients were served in the first month? Well, we go to month number 1, and that looks something like 55. Which month corresponds to 60 clients served? All we have to do is find where 60 is on the graph. It's here. That looks like April. And between which 2 consecutive months did the number of clients decrease? Let's do that in green. So let's look for decreases. I see one here, March to April, and I see another from September to October. The next question is, between which 2 consecutive months did the number of clients remain the same? Well, I think I see that. Let's do that in blue here, between August and September. And this is really it, okay? So on a coordinate grid system, there are some labels and things just to keep in mind. So the x-axis is always the horizontal axis. It's the line here in blue. The y-axis is always the vertical, the line here in green. The origin, I'm going to put here in red, is always the point at the center. The ordered pair for it is 0, 0. The quadrants always start with quadrant number 1 in the top right, and quadrant number 2 in the top left, number 3 in the bottom right, and number 4 in the bottom left. Or sorry, bottom left, bottom right, pardon me. Those always go in counterclockwise order. The numbers are always the same. An ordered pair is any x and y coordinate, right? An x coordinate and a y coordinate together that give a location. So remember, the x coordinate is always left to right. The y coordinate is always vertical up and down. So what we can do is we can practice plotting points. When we do that, we would just have to remember that the x coordinate is always first. It's the left to right. And then we do the y coordinate up and down. Take a minute and plot these to make sure you remember how to do this, and then I'll put them on as we go. But do pause and take a second to make sure you remember this. So 4, 5 would be 4 over to the right on the x-axis, and 5 up on the y-axis. So I'm just going to label that A. -4, 5 is sort of the polar opposite. So -4 on the x to the left, 5 down on the y. So that's B. C is -1, 3, so 1 to the left and up 3. D is 3, -1, so 3 to the right and down 1, that's D. E is half and then -7/3, so it's really between 1 and 2. -7/3 is like 2 and 1/3, so partway between 2 and 3. So I'm going to put E down there. F is -2, 0, so it's 2 to the left, and then not up or down at all because the y coordinate is 0, so that is right on the x-axis. And then G is 0, 0, that's the origin, we knew that. H is pi and then 1.1, so pi we know is 3.14, so it's 3 and a little more, and then up 1 and a little more, so it's right up here somewhere. All right, so make sure you remember how to do those. If you're stuck, practice. Okay, this is an important skill for what we're going to be doing in the rest of this chapter. All right, so the other thing that would be helpful to be able to do is to look at the points given on a graph and give the coordinates from them. So take a second and make sure you can do that. I'll pause a second. And then I'm going to put A, B, C, D here on the right. Point A is -1, -3. B is -2, 3. C is, let's see, about 3.5. So 3.5 and 1.5. And then D looks like, let's see, 1.5 and -2. Okay. We don't need to do that one. All right, so then let's do some applications. The daily low temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit for 1 week in January in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada are given in the table. That'll be on the next slide. Write an ordered pair for each row using the day number as X and the temperature as Y, and then plot them on the rectangular coordinate system. Well, let's do that. So first we're going to go through the chart and we're going to write the points. So I have 1 and -3. I have 2 and -5. I have 3 and 1. I have 4 and 6. I have 5 and 5. Remember that the second number is a temperature, so it's not super warm here in Canada. 6 and 0, 7 and -4. And then what we're going to do is go to the next screen and plot them on the graph. So you have them written down. So do I. So I'm just going to now plot them. Actually, look at my graph. So I have 1, -3, burr. I have 2 and -5. Move my paper so I can see it. 3 and 1. 4 and 6, kind of off my graph. 5 and 5. And then I'm going to extend my line a little bit. 6, 7. 6 is at 0. 7, it was chilly, is at -4. And then because these are temperature days, the temperature has to change to reach the other temperature. So like between -3 and -5, it's got to hit everything in between. You just don't skip from one to the other on temperature, even though sometimes it feels like it. I can draw a line between these. All right, let's do one more. So this is homes sold and in a town for 6 months. You do the graph, okay? So we're going to do ordered pairs the same way we did before. Feel free to pause and do it yourself first. 2 and 25, 3 and 28, 4 and 40, 5 and 45, 6 and 30. Okay. And then you're just going to plot those on the next graph. On the next graph, we have the same grid we had all along. So I can actually change what I count by here. I can make that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, because that's more convenient for what I'm doing. And I can still make these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so our points are 1 and 20, 2 and 25, 3 and 28, 4 and 40, 5 and 45. My 4 is a little off. 6 and 30. So we can plot them. These wouldn't get connected with the line simply because it's discrete data, like it's not the same as temperature, where the number of houses doesn't have to be 21 from one month to the other. It's just like a single data point. So we wouldn't normally connect these. All right, so this was a quick one. This is the end of 3.1. If you have questions, please reach out and ask them. You can use the discussion or you can reach out to me directly. And from here, follow the directions and do what's next.